Welcome back. I'm Dorothy Morgan. I am a professional astrologer. You can find me on the web at nhastrologer.com, where you can read any of the forecasts that I report on here on YouTube. Thank you for joining, and today I'm going to talk about March 2012. See if I can do this under 4 minutes. I'm a Gemini. Listen quick. Sorry. We're going to start with March 8th, which is the full moon in the sign of Virgo. And that's also highlighting the Mars retrograde in the sign of Virgo. So we should all be feeling rather frustrated. I don't care who you are, we're feeling rather frustrated with a lack of forward movement. So what we can do with the blessing of this full moon is to write on a little piece of paper, use something like this if you like, and just write down the things that you want to release and burn it. Be safe when you burn it. Do it in the sink or outside in a fire pit. Whatever best fits your needs. So write things down, because the more we can release right now, the more, once we have a new moon, the more we can bring in, because we can't receive if our hands are full. All right, so take the March 8th full moon in Virgo and release your obsession with details, release your need to be in control, release your need to overanalyze things, because if you're overanalyzing things, you're most likely going to have an upset stomach or some digestion issue. On March 12th, we have Mercury going retrograde in the sign of Aries. It's early in the morning, so depending on where you live, it could be March 11th. But March 12th, 3:49 a.m. on the East Coast, when Mercury goes retrograde, that means it's stationary for a couple of days before and after the 12th, which means there's definitely going to be a lack of movement through communication and through travel, short distance travel, issues with siblings. These are all Mercury issues. The Aries energy that Mercury happens to be in is actually part of Mars. So we actually have Mars in Virgo, Mercury's sign, retrograde, and Mercury in Mars's sign, which is Aries, also retrograde, starting on March 12th. So we have these two planets in mutual reception, it's called. They're in each other's sign and retrograde. So it's going to cause a lot more frustration than we usually feel during a Mercury retrograde. When Mercury is retrograde, Mars, any of the other planets, and even Saturn is retrograde now as well, all three of these planets are causing a serious amount of it's like we've got our foot on the gas pedal and it's planted to the floor and our other foot on the brake. So we're wanting to move forward, but all we're doing is just causing a lot of stress within our lives. Take time. These retrograde planets are all about redoing things and slowing down. We move too fast nowadays, and so we always have these opportunities to slow down and redo certain things. So with Mars and Mercury both retrograde in each other's signs, we have a perfect opportunity to take our time, let go of things that have nothing to do with us, because we still have the full moon in effect right now during the 12th, and look at what is important for us. On March 18th, retrograde Mercury is going to cause a bit of a feistiness while it makes a conjunction to Uranus in the sign of Aries. So on March 18th, we can really just expect the unexpected. There will be some very aggressive people around, or some people who are very confrontational. Some of the energy could be is that we really feel like we want to be this way, but we're not able to, because it's just not part of our nature. So we could feel a lot of stress and aggression building internally, and we're really not able to do anything with it. I do recommend you try and find some activity to move this energy through. It's not healthy to carry it in, but do what fits you best. On March 20th, we have the spring equinox. It is at 12:14 a.m. on the East Coast, so that ushers in the astrological new year. Are finishing up the lunar cycle, and so we're still releasing some things. So it's not really the best time to begin anything. Again, we have 3 retrograde planets, and the moon is still behind the sun, so it's coming up to balsamic. So during the spring equinox, while we're all celebrating, we're happy that the sun is in the sign of Aries, we're still kind of lingering in the old energy of the end of the year, the astrological year. On March 22nd at 10:37 a.m., the moon is new in the sign of Aries, and this is, as far as all of the ducks being in a row, this is officially the start of the astrological new year. The new moon in Aries is fantastic for making vision boards, setting goals for the whole year. So if you're really into manifesting and using energy like this in a very productive way, do something right around the new moon on the 22nd of March, and set up a fresh new vision board for the year. This is the most perfect time to do it. And so what I have here is this last week of March. It does have its ups and downs. Mercury is still retrograde, and it's backed into Pisces by the last week, and this is causing some confusion and it is making a difficult aspect to Saturn as well, who is also retrograde. So the adjustments, there's a lot of adjustments that are warranted during this difficult aspect between Mercury and Saturn. The only problem is it's a quincunx, and when we have a quincunx aspect, these planets, when they're 150 degrees away from each other, they never speak the same language. So any adjustments that we're trying to make at the end of March is just going to be an adjustment that we need to redo later on when these planets separate and move away from each other and stop causing each other problems. So what it really comes down to in a nutshell is be in a good space in your present moment, because the stuff that's going on around us will be frustrating. And if something is frustrating the dickens out of you, that's that Mars in Virgo retrograde, then it's just, we must let it go and not think about it. We have to stop thinking about the past and what has happened, what history has told us. It's okay to look to the future, but we must create the future. We create the future by being in the present moment. And with so many planets retrograde, especially through full moons and new moons, the opportunity for us is to learn to be present and in the present moment. Thank you very much for following me, and hey, share this video with your friends. Thank you very much. Blessed be. Namaste.